AI is a hot topic, and chances are you can feel very overwhelmed by all the different platforms and what each platform does. And if that is you, then you're gonna wanna listen to our podcast episode with Jeremy, where we break down all the different platforms, all the benefits, and best use and practices. Can't wait for you to listen. Welcome to episode 110 of The Real Deal. I am your host, Janine Igliane, and I have a very special co-host today, Mr. Ian Tolenada.
What's going on?
Ian is normally behind the camera, so this is fun. And our guest today is Jeremy. Thank you for being with us.
Yeah.
I want to do a little intro on you. So you're a marketing strategist and a fractional CMO who helps entrepreneurs identify what's holding their businesses back, build smarter systems, and leverage AI as a true growth tool. His work focuses on helping business owners uncover hidden constraints and blind spots so they can make better decisions and scale more effectively.
Sounds about right.
That's awesome. That's a mouthful. But I'm excited because you came in and taught our team a whole AI class, and I think you really broke it down, and I walked away with tangible things that I was able to go take and implement. So I think this will be a super fun conversation. So thanks.
Yeah, an honor to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So we always want to know a little bit about you as a person and your story. Where did you grow up? How did you get to Arizona? All of that. So tell us about yourself.
Yeah, that's easily top 3 questions I hate. I'll start from where we are now. You know, I've been here for probably about 7 years. Have my wife and an 8-year-old son, and we just have a really blessed life. We've been here for 7 years, and before that, I was in California. People would always ask me, where are you from? Around here, I say it real quietly sometimes, but and I'm from all over California. Really, I was born in Los Angeles, raised in the San Francisco Bay Area, lived in Central California, and then moved to Southern California, and the reason why I hate this question is because I feel like I've just worn so many hats throughout life, from being a teacher, a personal trainer. I was a gym owner or a wellness studio owner, and then eventually I really kind of fell in love with marketing. I really wanted to learn more about how to reach people, and I say fell in love with it, not fell into it, because I had a pretty good, I guess I might say a career. I really loved health and wellness, but I really wanted to learn more about how to get my own message out there. And I started studying videography, and then from there I was like, hey, cool, I can make a really cool video, but what if no one sees it? I would literally be hired, for people that want to make a really cool commercial, a cool promo. And when I was a health coach, I always looked at someone's health as as a holistic system, right? So it's how do I get to the root cause of whatever you're dealing with? Yeah. It's if someone has low back pain, I'm not just trying to go and rub the back a little bit and make you feel a little bit better. Let's understand more about why you have low back pain at its root. Yeah. And this just always seemed really natural to me. So when I started moving into marketing and I started with videography, I'm like, well, it's not just enough to make the video. What's actually the problem in your business? If it's visibility, a video might not solve that. So I moved over into paid advertising, and that was first of all, any of this stuff, right? With marketing, it's never oh, you're there and you're done. It's always a constant learning process, like any craft, honestly, right? But
well, I feel it's learning, but it's also changing. Mm-hmm. It's almost as soon as you feel you master something, wait, now there's this, or now it's this, so you got to always be learning and growing.
I mean, again, I know what the conversation will get there, but that premise is even more important right now. So to put all of that in a nutshell, I continued my marketing career and opened up my own agency and consultancy and whatnot. But ultimately, in the last, I would say 2.5 years, really by happenstance, probably because I'm a super lazy individual, I got into ChatGPT. I'm let me learn more about what this thing is that can create things for me and be faster. I'm always trying to be more efficient, right? So again, at that time, I was really fortunate because I was always looking at ChatGPT through the lens of marketing, not through the lens of like, well, let's see what I can do with this. Let's see what I can create or whatnot. Like I've done a lot of copywriting. So if ChatGPT gives me something, some sort of copy, I can look at it and be like, this is trash. Like I know how to optimize it. So yeah, that again, everything in a nutshell here, things are moving so fast now that it's so funny because I feel like I'm in a really good position, and at the same time I might wake up on some days like I'm so behind.
Yeah.
I gotta get going again.
Yeah.
So things are moving.
So let's talk about AI because that's like the hot topic today, and it's I think we're hearing about it more and more, and it's growing and changing, and it's just becoming something that we're going to have to learn, have to get used to because it's not going away. If anything, it's going to continue to grow. In our real estate world, they say that agents that will not be replaced by AI, but agents that don't use AI will be replaced by agents that do. Meaning and I'm sure that's true for a lot of professions, like we need to learn AI and learn how we can best incorporate that in our business to help us show up better. And there's so many options. And from what I've heard, it's like almost like a race to people to want to be the best, right? And want to do the most. And so the great thing is that it's creating like competition, but there are lots of options out there. And I think sometimes that can feel overwhelming. So I would love it if you could kind of give us an overview of the different AI options and platforms.
Yeah. I think let's talk about the different platforms. One of the key mindset shifts that needs to, I believe, occur for people is understanding like what AI is. And really I put it into two buckets, which is predictive or generative. And AI tends to be more predictive as it stands right now, because generative is more about innovation. It can go and create things. And I'll talk about that more in a second, but we have to understand that it's like we have access to this tool that has all the information ever out there, right? Like it's like people might get frustrated with AI or they think it's not for them, but you literally have this tool that has access to all this information, so why not use it? But regarding the mindset shift, it's still people that are like, I don't need this. I don't need this thing. And
I think, if I may, people are using it as like a Google search. More often than not. They're not really using it to like make them more efficient, right? They're just using it for information and then moving on.
That's right. There has been a really interesting, it's essentially an inverse correlation with the adoption of AI, because ChatGPT has been the fastest, most widely adopted thing in technology history. And essentially, the more people that are using ChatGPT, there's an inverse correlation of people that are now using Google, because majority of people are using it as a search engine alternative, which is funny because there are other AIs that are better at search engines, Perplexity like being one of them. But so they're using it as a search engine. They're using it as an email writer, which we can talk about the psychology of that in a second. And they're actually using it for a lot of verbal processing or emotional processing, oddly enough, which is dangerous to some degree because AI inherently is sycophantic. The way that these companies get the adoption rate to increase is by making it more friendly. And more often than not, people want to live in an echo chamber. They want to talk to somebody and say you're doing a great job, you know, and
they don't want to hear the hard truths.
That's right. Yeah, and it's funny because there's this meme where it's like somewhere on earth, the stupidest person you know is told by ChatGPT. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You know, and that is
it's
right.
It's true, because I'll like ask it like, oh, I want to do a video about this. Can you give me a video script or whatever? Be like, that's a great idea. I love that. You want to do that, all this stuff, and you're just like, okay.
Yeah. So again, as far as like the encompassing mindset shift goes, it's important to remember that this is a technology, because I have talked to a lot of, and I still continue to have these conversations, people that are resistant to AI. Maybe they are overwhelmed by it, which is usually the case, or they just don't like it. But I'm also kind of over here like, listen, like if you're averse to that, then you might as well be averse to like driving a car. Just go walk everywhere. Like this is technology to get you from point A to point B. So the first mindset shift that has to occur is that this is a tool for us to use, right? So that's the predictive angle of it. The other aspect of it is generative, which is, again, as I was talking about, innovation, which is actually very rare. Like it's very rare to have like a generative AI. However, the caveat to that for most people is that this actually can be new innovation for you in relation to your skill set. So it's like you can use it to help you learn more. It's not necessarily innovative or brand new, but as long as you're looking at it as a tool that you are learning from, not as a codependent crutch. And that's where I think people go wrong, is that they use this thing and like, oh well, I'm just fine. Like, no, you have to like almost become, I don't want to use the word like symbiotic, but to some degree like symbiotic.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm kind of over here one of these people like, when's Elon's Neuralink gonna come out so that way I can get information faster, and the whole obsession with speed is a whole other thing too.
Yeah, oh, for sure. For sure. I heard that one of my conferences, they were talking about AI and saying like the 20-60-20 rule, right? Like you have to give it the first 20%, it will do 60%, and then you have to do the last 20%, like edit it, like critically look at it, is this right, and make sure, because it's not always perfect. And I think that's a great reminder of like, it's not just a one and done kind of a thing and you don't have to think about it. No, you still need to be actively involved with it, but it can get you there so much faster if you use it the right way, right?
That's right.
So can you give us a breakdown of like, because again, I think this is like a big misconception or maybe misunderstanding, or people just don't even know, like what is AI in terms of all the different platforms and how are they different, and what, because each of them in my understanding have like its own strengths, right? Things that they're really good at. And so when you know, okay, this like, for example, Perplexity, I've heard is really great for like research and like,
That's what Rogan uses, actually.
oh, is it?
Yeah, I think they're sponsored for Rogan's podcast.
Oh, that's cool.
So Jamie's always there, and
Yeah.
information's like fact checking stuff.
So that's what I've heard, right? Like I've heard Perplexity is great if you're wanting to like book travel and have it like compare different options and like can set up a whole travel itinerary for you. Gemini, I use Gemini a lot because it's tied to my Gmail account, and I have the pro version and it just knows me really well. And I feel like for my real estate world, Gemini is great. Claude Cowork, my daughter is like obsessed with that and like loving that and telling me how I need to get on that. But that's like a whole other, oh my, again, talk about feeling overwhelmed. Yeah.
I told her either when she was here, or I told him when I left. I was like, her daughter, she's gonna be a beast.
Yeah.
When she starts using it, because she was asking some of the questions that I'm here. I was like, yes. It's like, so now you're really getting it.
Yeah.
So I think one of the most important things to recognize before someone goes down a rabbit hole is to understand it like for your own world, like your own use case. For example, I don't like Perplexity. And that's a very harsh way to say it. It's like I don't like it.
Yeah.
But like I just don't use it as much because of the research aspect of it. For example, you bring up Joe Rogan. That makes perfect sense because he's in a real-time conversation with somebody. He needs access to real-time research like right then and there. I have used Perplexity before. I prefer it's like what you might call like a UI, like their user interface or their user experience with how it interacts with you, and that's important as well. Like an example of this is like ChatGPT or Claude, which I'll talk about in a second. They're apps on my phone, which they're very convenient. Like that convenience is speed, and that's what I think people. What I'm seeing, and I'm a victim of this as well. What I'm seeing is this obsession with speed, and it's unconscious in a lot of situations. But it's like, okay, what is your life right now, and how can it be more convenient for you, or how can you apply speed? How can you apply speed to it? And anyways, the options like your user experience really matter. So Perplexity is obviously a great one for research. The most widespread one is ChatGPT. I eschew ChatGPT to some degree. I think it's very basic. Like it's actually fantastic for creating images. I still use it for image creation, but from like everything else, it's almost like a jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. But again, it was like most widely adopted. It's very clean looking, as opposed to what I might call my favorite, which is Claude. And Claude is, in my opinion, the less sycophantic. It will give me the most honest feedback. It has literally told me before, I don't know if that's a good idea. It has literally told me before, like, please don't ever say those words out loud. It will give me like legitimate pushback.
And can we talk about that for a second? Because you can kind of train your AI to like speak to you how you want it to. Right?
That's right.
People don't even know that.
That's right. Yeah. And again, that can be a little contextual. Like for example, in ChatGPT, there are some very fundamental parameters you can give it in the settings where it's like literally don't be sycophantic. Like you can tell it things like that, and it will give you the best version of that you possibly can. But you can go deeper with that. And again, without turning this into like a huge, just strictly educational lesson, when you get into things like custom GPTs or with Claude, custom projects, or as we were talking about Claude Cowork, you can really hammer home the personalization of it, the customization of it. Me, I deal with a lot of different clients. So, I mean, I have my Claude Cowork set up to deal with probably 20 plus clients in there. And each one has a different type of context, a different way that it speaks. I can't just say, go write copy for this landing page here, because that's too general. Like I need it to be for a certain client in a certain voice, or for a lot of people, they don't even know what kind of voice they're looking for, which there's a whole other like kind of side tangent, which I think is important to mention, is that there is definitely a confirmation bias that exists with AI. I've worked with a lot of clients who, like, let's say I've created something for them, I've crafted something for it, going back to the 20-60-20 rule, right? Where it's like, I've crafted this thing for you, I give it to you, I'll use example of text or copy that goes on, like, let's say a marketing page, right? We call it a landing page. Something goes on there. They come back and they're like, I like this. I look at it, I'm like, this is trash. And I can see that it's AI generated, but because you created it with your AI and you have this new little toy that you created with, it's like our children. It's like, of course my son's the best,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, so I created this thing and it's better than your thing because I created it, even though they don't think of it like that. So it is important to recognize like the confirmation bias that exists within things. And again, that probably speaks to the value of having like team members and people that you can bounce things off. How does this sound? You know? So anyways.
Well, I think it's a good reminder to not just accept what it's given you, but like tweak it afterwards, right?
You gotta refine it.
Yes, don't just, and I think for me, I feel like I have so much to learn, but I am slightly a little bit ahead than most people, I think, because I do pay attention. So it's easy for me to see marketing and be like, oh, that's AI, right? Or that was an AI content, or the, what's it called? Like the writing or whatever was AI. It's like, oh, and then I feel disappointed.
Yeah.
Right?
Turns you off.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to do that and go back and put your voice to it too.
Yeah, you're not the only one. There's definitely a massive wave of like consumerism, like unconscious recognition from consumers, where like, for example, and I think we talked about this in our meeting, but like one of the first things that turns people over are M dashes. But there's other tropes that are present within AI, and people are so used to seeing it now that it actually has gone the other way, where you almost have to like prove in some way, shape, or form something that it's not. Which also speaks, this is funny because there's another tangent here, which also speaks to the value of like, of course, being authentic.
Yep.
Maybe even being a little polarized in your content, not being afraid to speak up for like your values, if you will. But then from an actual technical standpoint, the value of video.
Yes.
The value of video.
Raw video.
Raw.
Right.
I mean, just I heard somebody call this the other day, and I'm using it now. It's called yappy content. I'm like, just like yappy content. You pull your phone out and you just start yapping. And I'm like,
Giselle was talking about that. Do you follow her, Ugardi?
No.
She was literally talking about that, and it was the first time I had heard it too. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't want to get on camera, and you can use AI. Like, this is what's funny is that, and again, like, take this what you will. I've done really well on social media as far as being able to create something, get a solid engagement, or get someone to reach out to me from that. Okay, majority of people don't realize that I've been using AI for probably at least a year and a half with scripting and whatnot. But it's because I know how to read a script and curate it in my own voice. I can change my inflection and my tone. Take a pause.
Yeah.
Make it seem like it's more,
Right.
more authentic. And I think that's something that I don't think people realize. Like,
Yeah.
it's little things like that you can do to overcome people's defenses around AI, which is so funny too, because the question could be asked like, why are you turned off because it's AI copy? Why are you turned off by it?
I will tell you, it feels lazy. It's like, oh, you didn't care enough to put your flair on it. You know what I mean? Because it's 2 seconds and it can write a whole thing, but is it personal? That's why, to that point, one of the things that we've done with our marketing in our real estate business is making sure we're adding in more personal sides to it so that it does appear authentic, right? And it's not just like all AI, because truly, like, we do so much marketing, monthly mailers, right? Email newsletters. Like, AI could do all of that and I would not have to do a single thing. But is it specific? Is it personal? Is it really showing who I am? And I think people are craving that authentic, real person connection, because they know that there's so much out there that's so easy to just, type it in and have AI spit it out for you.
Well, it's great with your your car videos.
Yes.
That's one thing that does well for you, right?
Yeah. People notice it, whether they pay attention or I don't know. You know what I mean? But they see it and it's me
genuine. It's real.
I like flub words and I stumble and it is what it is, right? And that's what they were talking about of like the super polished versus the more raw, right? People are, kind of leaning more towards the raw, the real. I want to talk about Claude because I think this is almost like a sleeper AI. Like a lot of people aren't really familiar, but the people that are using it love it.
Yeah, and I think that really speaks to how widely adopted ChatGPT has become because Claude is still almost like $1 trillion company. Like it's still a massive company. It's just like ChatGPT has such a stranglehold on the marketplace that a lot of people still aren't recognizing Claude. And if I'm being honest, Claude it's not as pretty as ChatGPT. The use cases are a little bit different, but they're very, very powerful. And I think this is especially important for people, if I'm being candid, because I guess I could throw myself into this bucket, for people that are afraid of losing their jobs to AI, to technology, which is a real thing. But the people that are going to benefit the most from AI from a work standpoint, in my opinion, should be using Claude more than Chat. Like it's a more serious business-oriented tool. And if you're going to try to create like personalization or custom works or projects, that Claude is incredibly powerful for that.
It also like will analyze things and like give you a whole like report and it will like make it look pretty too, which is really cool.
Yep.
People don't realize like how amazing that is. One of the things that I've used AI for that I love, it's been really beneficial, is asking it to analyze my social media and saying, give me feedback. Like, what could I do better? What should I focus more on? Like, what content should I put out there and have it kind of analyze that? It's so cool. And it does it like within minutes.
That's right.
It's amazing the stuff that we have access to that can make us more efficient and better.
Yeah.
It's just, I think you have to just get her in there and just play around with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And still recognize too that dichotomy between predictive and generative, because oftentimes AI is all times AI is looking back at patterns and data that already exists. For example, if you are doing like market research or you want some ideas about social media, it's going to tell you what it sees as best practices. Now, as far as, and even then, if you prompt it for new stuff, there's a good chance it's going to go completely off its rocker. Could like hallucinate. We can talk about like hallucinations, and in a little bit. But it's very hard to like be generative. Now, all of that is quantitative. This is what people still, especially like when it comes to marketing and social media, there's a lot of people that are starting to lose their own agency and sovereignty over their own like qualitative intuition. It's like if you just sat for 5 minutes and were like, what can I say to people, like to get ahead. And again, because by definition, innovation is about creation, and AI is not necessarily doing that yet. Again, it might seem like it is, but it's not. And again, this is where we talk about like in our workshop, the difference between speed and domain expertise. With people that have like deep domain knowledge, you still understand more at an intuitive level about like your audience's prospects, customers, whatever you want, where you want to use, about like their pain points, their emotional triggers. And you can actually empathize with that, specifically when it comes to video. Like that's a huge thing. So much of our communication is actually nonverbal. So the ability to create a video and empathize without words, without words with your audience goes a huge long way. Now again, quick little asterisk to that is the fact that us as marketers or people that are marketing their businesses are attempting to, we stew over things too much. So it might take you like a month to create an empathetic video because you've been putting it off because you want it to be polished and perfect and all the things, where just go get in your car and create and start talking.
Yeah. This episode is sponsored by Frank Bowen, founder of Bowen Technologies. High performers don't rely on motivation, they rely on systems. Frank Bowen helps professionals build the internal structure required to perform at a higher level consistently. Through his growth circuit framework, he teaches discipline, focus, and leadership at a different standard. To get started, visit Frank's website linked in the description. Thank you for watching the episode. Our podcast is called The Real Deal, where real estate meets real life. And I love sharing these real life stories, but we are also in the real estate business. And so if you have any real estate needs, maybe you're thinking about buying or selling or wanting to invest in real estate, we would love to help you. Can you talk about Grok? Because I have a lot of clients, especially my engineers, that love Grok. Can you talk about that AI platform?
So I'll never bet against Elon.
Okay.
I'll never bet against Elon. I think Grok is probably the least sycophantic, but I don't think that it's just there yet as a business tool. There's crazy things that you can do with Claude, and you go up the hierarchy of Claude into like Claude Cowork or Claude Code, as a lot of people like to use, as they like to talk about. I don't think that it's necessarily a tool that most people need to be using. But it has a lot of resources that can integrate with the different elements of your work life. Grok doesn't have all of those integrations just yet, but I think it can still be a good tool for feeding data to, asking questions. It's probably, and again, I'm saying this without having going to battle test of this. It's probably a great tool for verbal processing and asking questions and seeing what you get back.
My friend used it to design his backyard, and it was fun because he was tweaking, because he's an engineer, so he was very methodical about his changes, and it was all perfectly done, and it was able to do it for him just how he wanted it, so I think he appreciated that side of it. I want to ask you about AI free versus AI paid, how there's a lot of these options where you can pay to have a pro or an upgraded version. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I first want to talk about how many people are resistant to paying for the AI thing, which to me, first of all, I understand. Second of all, it's ludicrous, it's silly, it's laughable. You could pay $20 a month to have your own personal assistant, to have something, have access to all these tools. And it's honestly, my wife is coming to mind right now, because we've been in the car before, and she's trying to look up results for blood work, and I'm telling her, I'm driving, I'm like, just screenshot and upload it to ChatGPT. I only have the free version. I'm not paying for the, I'm not doing the paid one. I'm like, you use this thing all the time. You can make your life easier on you, And anyways, in a nutshell, paid versions are, actually, this is a really good subject. So first of all, they are invaluable to people that are attempting to use them. For most people that don't think that they need it, I would push back on that, and I would say that AI is already impeding on your life in some way, shape, or form. You might as well start to use it as a tool. Again,
what do you mean impeding on your life?
It's already impacting your life in some way, shape, or form, even if you don't think it is. Again, there's this massive wave of individuals that are using AI, and I truly believe that they are going to overtake and provide more value to companies and brands, businesses, teams, because they are able to work faster. And if they have even just a shred of discernment, they can they will discernment in a particular domain. If they have a shred of it, they can apply that to their speed, and they will overcome. They will produce works faster. I mean, imagine being in a meeting and you guys are talking about something and executing on something, and the person across from you, by the time the meeting is over, already has it done.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
In a conventional world, you might have expected to take a week or two. So I'm in the marketing agency world, right? So I have clients that have had agencies in the past where, again, I'm generalizing here, but let's say you want to launch a marketing campaign. Okay, that involves copy creation, building a landing page, scripts maybe for videos, and then of course ad creation, and then the ad launch. And conventionally speaking, as a general timeline, I don't know how much experience you have with marketing agencies, because I know this can be different, but as a general timeline, it could be anywhere between 30 to 90 days, 30 days on the real short end of that, to get that stuff done. Somebody who is leveraging AI can have that done in a day. I could do it in a day.
I just was thinking about this right now. Obviously, we're not in the corporate world right now, right? But imagine you're working for a corporate agency and it's a marketing agency 5 years ago, even. How it's kind of I would assume it's kind of an unspoken thing where people are starting to use AI more and more. And how is the CEO of that business looking at their employees? How awkward, and you know what I'm saying? Are they looking now at their employees like, man, okay, so I know secretly or not secretly, people are starting to use AI more to what you just said, become more efficient, you can get that stuff done in a day. Well, that's kind of replacing probably at least half that staff of what they used to be.
Well, can I say something? Sorry, I didn't mean to jump
go
in,
ahead.
but I like, for example, when I hired Miles, like I asked him about AI, like how does he feel? What's his preferred platform? Like to me, I want to hire somebody that is using AI to make themselves better, right? I'm not at a place where, I mean, maybe down the road, right? I won't need like a physical person to do certain things, but for me right now, I want to make sure my people are using it. Does that make sense?
They're plugged in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, not being resilient or resistant. I keep interchanging that. Resistant to it, and again, usually there's some form of like hesitancy there built around, I don't know, some sort of like traumatic aversion or something like that. I'm not really sure, but I know a lot of people are resistant to it, and I think it's mostly because they get overwhelmed by it.
Yes.
And actually, to that point, going back onto the paid thing, like using the paid service or the paid aspect of any of these tools just allows you to be more efficient with whatever you want to explore anyway. Why use the free version and then like it's like fighting with one arm behind your back, like why? And again, it's I understand nobody wants to like add another subscription to it, but you'll gladly pay $10 a month for like Spotify to like listen to some music, or it's like have this tool now that makes your life a lot
Let's
easier.
go back to, let's go back to we're all kind of all similar ages when dial-up internet was around, right? So everybody was excited to use the internet. But what is so different from that compared to now wanting to use AI? Is it because of the term AI, artificial intelligence?
That makes people hesitate?
Yeah. Do you think that's like, what is that? Because back in the day, we all wanted to use the internet. We wanted to get on. We have
Instant
email.
message.
Yeah, instant message. You said AOL.
Yeah.
Like
The dial-up sound.
Yeah, and then became, then the term was like, oh, Google it.
Yeah.
Whatever. So what is that what is that blockade?
Honestly, it's a couple of things. One is that it's very real now. Like it's very real. I think people are like, oh my God, like I can't, like this is, they're able to touch it. They're able to like, even just the free version, like they're able to like use it and whatnot, right? I think the other aspect of this is probably because they didn't grow up watching movies about the internet killing them and taking over the world. Sounds funny, but like a lot of people are afraid of a lot of people are afraid of sharks because of the movie Jaws. But like in the same way, like people watching the Terminator movies, like, oh, the Judgment Day is here, the apocalypse, technology, the Matrix.
I would say just believe in Jesus and you'll be okay.
I think there's actually a lot of truth to that, to be honest.
But yes, I think there's a lot of truth to that side too, right? Like we could go down a whole rabbit hole.
Yeah. So I think it's again, I've never really answered that question that way before about like the movies, but I honestly believe that. A lot of our perception is built around like Hollywood and our perceptions of these things.
Sure.
Telling a vision, right? Television.
The AI is going to take over. The AI is going to take over, and I mean, again, I would love to say that AI is not going to do that. I genuinely do worry for some of the world that is not sophisticated enough to use these tools because they can just. I'm one, like I consider myself to be sophisticated, and I still surround myself with people that are what I consider to be like on higher echelons, above me, and I'm like, man.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, what are some of the coolest things you've used AI for?
Yeah, so this is a good question because cool is a bit subjective. Cool can be like, how have I used AI to give myself more time back so I can spend more time with my son, right? Cool for some people might be, look, I did a caricature of me and my husband, you know, like look how cool this is, you know? So it's like, which is, again, it's kind of funny because I'm like, I don't want to use AI for things that are just like for fun. I think that it can be okay.
For sure.
But I spend a lot of time, there's another question we get into, but I spend a lot of time in this program called Higgsfield, which is great for image and like it's a whole media AI studio. It's plugged into all of the AI. So if you imagine we have these things like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever, Perplexity, right? And then you have this thing called Higgsfield, which is, it's all about media creation, images and video. It's combined it's connected to all of them. You have to pay an additional thing for it.
Yeah.
I generate a ton of profile of like images of me because I don't have time to go and like, I wouldn't even know what to hire a photographer for. I don't know, but like I've created some awesome images of myself. I've literally had this guy at my house looking at my website, and that's a great picture of you. Thanks, it was AI. You know, I'm like,
all right, Miles, we need to try that one.
Oh no, I've seen people do stuff like headshots and stuff like that. They really take a messy Make some clean up, shave it, like all that.
That's
I've
right.
done that.
That's right. I develop processes for my clients to help them use this thing. So it's like literally, this is going to be your client. This is going to be your workflow to help you create more profile pictures and whatnot. Anyways, I'm bringing that example up because I do this cool thing that's actually going to help me with my business. My son's right now is learning how to build websites with it. Which is funny. I'll take that a step further. I built a curriculum using Claude, where like he goes through it like, cool, you completed this task, check here, and it's got lessons within each of the modules, all the way to get him to being able to build a website. So I don't have to sit there and teach him my way of doing it. I develop the curriculum, feed the curriculum into the AI. AI creates the actual interactive like online school, and then he does it to build his thing. I think that's cool.
That's pretty awesome.
You know, so like that's that. But I think that a lot of people, if they're just using it for just but also just the example of like the engineer doing his backyard, that's like not work related, but it's still kind of work related. Like that's a part of your life that you're actually being productive with. So, and again, the overarching theme there is, how productive are you actually in your life? Because if you think that you're just going to skate by and AI is not going to impact your life, I believe you're going to be in for a rude awakening at some point. And I'm as blessed as I am in my life. I wake up with anxiety a lot of days because I do get concerned about how fast things are moving. And I don't want to be the individual that wakes up one day and I was like, well, the world passed me by. I already feel like that enough, like with my son.
So along those lines, like what are some warnings that you would give in terms of using AI? Like for example, right, I've heard it's important to be cautious of what do you give it access to that could go into your personal banking accounts and your clients, for us, handling real estate transactions, like their personal info. Are there any things that you would say you need to kind of, here's a warning, or be careful, or don't do this with it?
I'm as anti-establishment as the next guy. But at the same time, I'm also like, take everything. I don't care. Because I'm just like, whatever helps me get to like my goal faster. AI helped me do my taxes. Like I literally like uploaded my spreadsheets and my PDFs and my downloads and all the thing. I walked into my meeting with my CPA. I had created zilch. I didn't create anything, forms, nothing filled out. I just literally sat there and asked him, what do you need from me? Bloop, 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 bloop. It creates it on the spot. We review it. Here it is. Like, I don't know what you need. I was like, but my AI here has all the things. So I can create that. And I'm just bringing that up because like the financial records and stuff like that. I'm not an important enough person. I don't know. So as far as warnings go, I do believe the sycophancy thing is probably one of the biggest warnings, where it's like you need to have discernment. You still need to like level up your skills. You can't just use this as a blind crutch. And just like do whatever it says to do. So discernment, I believe, is the key thing there. Some sort of critical thinking. I mean, that right there is like, do you possess the faculty, like critical thinking faculties, to be able to look at something and just ask, is this the best that this could or should be? So, I mean, that's like the first, maybe the first and probably the best thing that I could give anybody as far as like flags go. The second one is probably what I already kind of subcommunicated, which is like, oh, AI is not for me. I bet it is. I bet it is. I mean, if you're an older individual, I'm sure it would benefit you in some way, shape, or form, or at the very least, so that way you can understand it for maybe your kids, or your children, or whatnot.
Yeah. I also heard a good tip is to like not just accept the first answer it gives you and kind of challenge it, right? Or like make this better or whatever. So anyways, I know that we could probably talk all day, but I want to throw it back to you and say, what didn't we ask you that we should have asked you? Oh
man, as you said, I think that all this stuff is these are rabbit holes that you can continuously go down. There's nothing that comes to mind that I let's see, if I think about AI from a broad perspective, like what do I talk about that maybe we didn't talk about?
We should talk about how our friendship and brotherhood came about. This is the real reason you came on the podcast. Through AI? No. The real reason he came on the podcast. Talk about the glory days.
I do think that that's important, because I do think a side note as far as like where things are going, I think everyone's going to have their own agent, and like people talk to each other through agents. So it's like I have my own assistant. I'm like, hey, I need to I want to go to the movies with Ian. Can you ask his agent if he's available? And,
Crazy.
I genuinely believe that, and actually I can't even say that's my own like unique idea. It's like if you start to see little inklings of that, I swear I literally saw an ad today from Alex Hormozy. I don't know if you follow him, but Alex Hormozy had an ad. He's talking about that exact same thing. I was like, wow.
Crazy.
And again, because I have a mentor of mine that has talked about that.
Yeah.
But going back to
Well, it's hard. It's like one of those things where it's like, one of the ideas and one of the things that I've heard is coming is like your own personal robot. Like, give me one to do my laundry, to make me dinner, to go shopping, to clean my house. Like, amazing. But that's also a little scary too.
It's
like,
terrifying.
am I going to come one day and it's going to try to like
It's
kill
going to
me?
be like iRobot, where the robots just take
Right,
over, they might
right?
deliver it, and
So it's like, right?
I've seen people
Like-
talk about that. They're like, oh, blue collar workers or like manual laborers, like, oh, you don't have to worry about, you don't have to worry. Well, you don't have to worry like probably for a while.
Yeah.
maybe
And
10
then
years, 15 years, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it'll be sooner than that. I think that and again I hear this phrase like wait till you see the robots, because like people are already working on this. The only constraint right now is scalability and mass production. That's the only constraint.
Yeah.
Is that when robots are like a couple $1,000,
Right?
Like-
Oh, sign me up.
yeah.
But I'm also like, okay, I hope Jesus comes back before that. Okay, Jeremy, we'd love to end with like some rapid fire questions.
Cool.
Are you up for
Of course,
that?
yep.
Okay, we'll start off easy. Favorite color?
Red.
Favorite drink?
Coffee.
Oh, okay. Do you have a favorite kind of coffee?
No.
Okay, just any coffee.
Just
Love
coffee.
it.
It depends on where I am,
Yeah.
honestly.
Favorite-
As far as actually, you might
Sure.
resonate with this. I do love this place called Switch Brew. I don't know if you've been there.
No,
in
where's
Queen Creek.
that?
It's off of like Heritage. It's like there's like a Walmart over there. It's like
Okay.
the Queen Creek Marketplace. You
Oh,
asked me about my
cool.
favorite coffees. That's probably my favorite coffee.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Favorite food?
Oh God. Pizza.
Oh, mine too. Okay, do you have a favorite place to get your pizza from?
Here's the thing. I'm not picky. I'm
Okay.
not picky. I end up usually going to Domino's, if I'm being
Oh,
honest, because it's
okay.
fast. I can order from my
Yeah,
app.
Domino's
It's
is good.
convenience, speed.
I understand. I'm telling you, and I got a lot of heat from this, but Air Guitar, have you heard of Air Guitar? It's right they have really
I still
good
have yet to
pizza.
go there.
I'm telling you, if you go on, I think it's a Wednesday, it's like buy one, get one free.
Oh really?
So good.
That's good to know.
It's my favorite. Okay, do you have a favorite book?
Favorite book. The holy part of me wants to be the Bible. But
Yes.
Not really. I don't know if I have a favorite book. I mean, I know we all have books that we've read in our lives that have probably like, really transformed us. I think back to like my bookshelf. One of my favorite ones is probably called Superfans by Pat Flynn. I
Yes,
know
so
that's
good.
more of a marketing. Okay,
Yes,
so
so good.
that's a good one.
Yeah, love it. Do you have a favorite podcast?
Oddly enough, I'm not much of a podcaster. I do not have a favorite podcast, mostly because I will turn on a YouTube video that's like of a podcast.
Yes.
And I will just not watch the video part of it.
Oh.
So
See, I much prefer the YouTube video. I hate just listening to it. I mean, I'll listen to it when I drive, but I love like seeing it. Anyways, okay. Do you have a favorite scripture? Because you're a believer.
man, the one I always go back to, especially because, and I don't know the actual like scripture, Proverbs, but iron sharpens iron. I coach my son's flag football, and
Nice.
to me, life is just all, especially like as a man, like I'm always talking about like pushing against each other and working more.
Love it. What about a favorite vacation?
As a man, I don't take vacations.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. No, I honestly, again, I speak in memes, just so you know. But like,
Sure.
there's this meme that comes to mind where it's like you don't actually take a vacation; you just parent in a different location.
Oh gosh, that's funny.
Yeah.
When they get older, it's a little bit better, but yes.
Recently, and I finally got this guy on board. Recently, I'm all about the cruise life. Like I love
Oh.
cruises.
I know this guy's doing a Disney cruise.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Let's not say that too loud.
The
okay?
best.
It's not a Disney person.
We're going together. Yeah.
Oh, you guys
Yeah,
are going
yeah,
together?
yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it.
We went on one in March, and my wife is an absolute Disney-holic.
Oh, is she?
She loves Disney. I know this guy likes to call me
Yes.
a Disney dad, but
Yeah.
I'm not. I wouldn't call myself a Disney dad. I would say that as setting the container for your wife and your children to
Yes.
enjoy themselves and access the inner child, I would say that's a high form of protection in dadding. That being said, I'm tired of going to Disneyland. Like I do not like Disneyland. Like 'cause it's like why do people, adults, why we have these stressful lives and then we go and we wake up at 5:30 in the morning to go walk 30,000 steps.
Tell me about it.
And
Tell me about it.
Yeah, and do multiple days of that. No. Disney Cruise Life. Disney Cruise Life all day.
Cruises are
I'm
so
relaxing.
good.
I'm relaxing.
So good.
Go get some pizza and soft serve.
Yes.
Go.
I'm going there to be fat.
Yes.
That's what's going on.
Yeah,
here.
you'll eat good. You'll eat good for sure. Okay, last question. What do you want to be known for?
I want to be known for being a good dad, being a good father. That's like, I was talking to I would almost call it like a prospective client. He's actually in real estate, oddly enough, and not a realtor, but he's in real estate. He's an investor. And I was talking about going on to his team, and he asked me a question, was like, what could you see yourself doing for the rest of your life? And I'm like, ooh, I don't know, like what I could be doing for the rest of my life. And I stopped and I was like, honestly, man, I was like, I'm a dad first.
Yeah.
I was like, I will do whatever it takes to be a good dad.
Yeah.
And that's like, I don't know why that like kind of came to me. I was like, obviously like I wouldn't just like, I don't want to name a job as in a derogatory way, but like I will do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
That's probably what I want to be known for.
I love that. I think that's like the true definition of being a man. So.
You're a great dad, sir.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Don't get Ian going because he's a crier. So.
We'll say that for another episode.
Thank you for sharing with us. If someone is listening and they're like, maybe he could help me in my business, how can they find you?
JeremyBerumen.com. Yeah, my website. Or Instagram, jeremy.berumen.
We'll link it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks for listening to the Real Deal podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe, and you can follow us on social media at the Home Selling Team AZ.